Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal. Today we're sharing our POV on the 2026 Catalunya Grand Prix in Spain. I'm your host, Luigi.
And I'm your other host, Rosa. So let's go. And we welcome Andrew again.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Now you're here, Andrew, because you've actually been to this track. You've watched a Grand Prix there.
Yeah, fortunately, 2 years ago we watched the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona and it was amazing.
At this track?
Yep. Really great track to watch Formula One. I think over the years it's been a little bit dull racing-wise, but I'm pretty sure the last 2 or 3 years have been quite good.
And where were you sitting? What corner were you at?
We were on corner, I think it's corner 5.
Oh, I was going to say,
so
if you
the
said
corner after
4,
the corner that Charles binned it during the latest race. But yeah, really good. You can see a lot of the track from quite a few positions. So good location.
Right. Well, we need special insights from you about the track.
Yes.
So, yeah, Louis, you're going to kick us off?
With the
what
result,
are we talking about?
The top line, should we just quickly... we're going to talk about 3 topics before the race, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the FIA's... I'm going to try to pronounce it ADUO, which is Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities. So there's 3 things we want to talk about. This is one of the 3 before the race. And this is the engine adjustment program that they've implemented. Are you familiar with this, Rosa and Andrew?
No. Actually, now that you mention the actual words that make up ADUO, I did remember seeing an article, but I flicked over it. I didn't read it. So no.
I'll give the top line summary. I'm no expert and we're not a technical podcast at the best of times, but in summary, they rank the engines according to some sort of parameters, and I'll come to the rank in a minute. And the idea being that the engines that are like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, etc., get opportunities to improve their engine because they're at a disadvantage. Now, my question to you, Rosie, you don't know the rank, and I'm asking you on purpose because I want to hear your natural opinion, because I'm sure it's going to be what my opinion was too. Would you think?
Andrew,
what do you think was the number 1
it.
engine? Andrew knows. Maybe Andrew can't say.
All right.
Do you know or not know the rank, Andrew?
I know of the number 1.
You know of the number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing Mercedes
Edison
is number 1.
Yeah. Okay. And who would be number 2?
Well, I would have said Ferrari a few races ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Ferrari.
No.
Number 3, Red Bull. Number 2, Red Bull.
You've got them all wrong.
McLaren.
You've got it all wrong.
We're talking engines, not chassis.
Do you want to tell her the number 1 engine, Andrew?
Hang on. Well, you haven't. Why don't you tell me the criteria first? Maybe I'll get it after you tell me what the criteria is.
Okay. Okay. This is off Google. So it's internal combustion engine as the top performing unit on the grid. Is based on the baseline engine. Does not receive any development concessions or upgrades. Sorry, I didn't read the details of what it based the measurements on. I'm assuming technical people would know something to do with engine output power, something.
Okay. Well, I would have thought number 1 was Mercedes. It's not.
It's not.
No,
what's number 1?
I believe number 1 is Ford.
Yeah.
The Red Bull powertrain, and the racing.
Yeah, okay.
So Russell was very quick to say it's our chassis that's good. It's our chassis that's good.
Oh.
That's the argument.
Where was Ferrari? 5th,
Ferrari,
7th.
Okay, so number 1 was Ford, and even Red Bull were surprised, and they asked for clarification, please, because they have missed out on the opportunity to invest in their engine. Mercedes was number 2. They were deemed 2% off the baseline. So Ford was the baseline, and they were granted 1 additional engine upgrade like they need it. And ranked 3, 4, 5 is Ferrari, Audi, and Honda. And they were deemed greater than 4% off the baseline, and they are given 2 additional engine upgrades.
Right. Okay. So McLaren's using Mercedes engine, so they're at number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
isn't
reckon
it
Honda
weird?
need about 7 additional upgrades.
Yeah.
So did Ferrari.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
What I'm actually really disappointed about is just, again, the inconsistencies of the FIA they've allowed Mercedes, and like I said, I am more than happy with Mercedes to have an advantage that they found in their engine combustion, whatever that is, the power deployment thing, and they kept it until this race, I think. After this race, I think they had time to like adjust. And the one advantage that Ferrari had is gone, absolutely gone. As soon as they found out about it, we're taking it away. It's just inconsistent.
Well, I think the
decision making.
Mercedes advantage disappeared after Canada. So they're operating under the new regs now.
So this was the first race under the new regs.
Well, Monaco was the first race, but I don't think that didn't make much difference just because of the nature of the track. But this is the first sort of traditional circuit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway,
there you go. The Red Bull has the most powerful engine.
I guess that's not any different.
They're seeking clarification, of course, because they're probably wondering what the hell. Yeah.
So that's not really any different to like tunnel time in the past, isn't it? But tunnel time came at the end of the season, not during the season.
Yeah, I don't know when they get these upgrades.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. You'd think it would be soonish because why would they announce it?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just interesting. Interesting information because Mercedes were not the first as everyone expected, and there is questions being made. And that leads us to other changes that could be happening. So the big news is that, to everyone's surprise, the protest by Alpine about Gasly's time penalties for speeding in the pit lane were overturned, which meant he gets to keep his 3rd place after all. What do you think of that, Andrew?
Look, it's curious is probably what I'd say. I would have thought. Look, I haven't read the steward's explanation, but it seems like they did break the rules. They might have shortcut the pit entry to, obviously, which meant they were deemed to be speeding. I think the big question marks are, because they didn't actually come in to make a pit stop, they didn't actually have to serve their penalties. Whereas Russell was supposed to serve his penalty and he didn't, so he got an additional time penalty. I think Piastri might have served his penalty. So everyone's a little bit confused because it sort of altered it's sort of like, you're altering time space. It's a bit like Back to the Future, right? If something's happening in the past and then you're altering it in the future, but the true course of events couldn't take shape. So I think that's why everyone's a little bit bemused about it.
They're opening a can of worms. They really are.
I have a bit of a different take, which isn't surprising because Andrew and I don't agree on a lot of things. I don't think that he actually was speeding in the pit lane. I think the calculation, I don't think any of them were. I think the way that they've calculated it and the changes they made to the entry to the pit lane or between the 2 points meant that drivers could choose different lines in that section, which altered the calculation of speed. So my issue is, if whatever you've said, what was the word you used? If they've overturned the Gasly ones, they should overturn all of them, not just the Gasly ones.
How can they when they've served the time? That's the issue.
Exactly. That's right. That's my issue. That I agree with the Back to the Future bit because it's already happened. And how are they going to undo those ones? Because you can't recalibrate the race with taking out those 5-second penalties because you don't know what was going to happen. So it's very unusual that they did it. But aren't
they
Red
just
Bull
ran
and
the race again?
McLaren, aren't Red Bull and McLaren also appealing now?
Yeah, they are.
I'm
Yes,
not sure
they
if
are.
they're actually appealing or they're thinking about appealing, but
They made
it could be an ongoing saga.
Notice of making an appeal.
Now, are they appealing the overturning of Gasly's, or are they appealing their own penalties?
I don't
No,
really
I think
know.
they're appealing the overturning of Gasly's.
Turning of Gasly's, right. Yep. Makes sense.
I think it's complicating things a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I do admit, when Gasly did make the announcement of he actually obviously he'd say something positive when the announcement was made, and he said, I'm proud the FIA has made the right decision. And admittedly, the FIA is not known to overturning any decisions. So this is like a real surprise. And I'm wondering if they're trying to make good with the F1 community, but not realizing they've probably ostracized 90% of them, maybe more than that. Anyone who's not pro Alpine, which you'd have to say is in the high 90% range. So therefore...
Well, do you remember when, I think it was last year, even the year before, when Sainz drove over that cover?
The storm cover drain in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and he got penalised for something. What was it? I don't remember. But everyone, the whole grid was like up in arms about his penalty and wanted it overturned. Yeah. And that would have impacted no one else. It was just a science thing for Ferrari at the time, and they refused to do it. Like, it was the most no-brainer overturning decision they could have done, and they refused to do it.
Yeah, because he damaged his underbody, and I think if you change your underbody, you've got this big penalty. And you're right, it was stupid for them not to let that one go, because it was their own fault that his underbody broke.
Exactly. It was nothing that science did apart from driving on a faulty track that they had responsibility for preparing.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to the next topic?
Yes.
I don't know. The only other thing I would say is that I think the third place trophy's gone missing.
The what?
The third place trophy from Monaco.
Oh, has it?
Red Bull haven't given it back yet.
What do you mean?
Well, Red Bull have still got it.
Right. It hasn't gone to Gasly.
Yeah, that was a big topic of conversation over the weekend.
Right.
Because they're waiting for their appeal, I guess, or their alleged plan to appeal.
So they're saying possession is 9/10 of the law. It's our trophy. We're still third. Ha, ha, ha. Right.
That's what I'd do.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'd do that if I was Red Bull. And I'd also say, you come and collect it as well.
Okay.
I don't think they're that far away in terms of location, Alpine and Red Bull. So it's probably just a trip down the M1 or whatever they have over there in England.
Is Alpine in the UK?
Yeah, I think Enstone, I think.
Enstone and Red Bull are in Milton Keynes, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how far away they are from each other, but
why do I always think that Alpine are French?
Well, they are. And Red Bull are Austrian, I guess.
Yeah.
But
they have their factories in the UK.
I don't think is Ferrari the only factory that's not in the UK?
I think Toro Rosso, Racing Bulls. And they are still based where Minardi was based.
Yes, they are.
Wherever that is, somewhere in Italy.
It's somewhere in Italy. Where's Haas? Are they?
I think they're US and UK. I think they're US and UK.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Cadillac is definitely US. Yeah, they play on that.
Yeah.
North Carolina, I think, or was that Haas?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
well, that's where all the NASCAR teams are, in North Carolina, Charlotte.
You'd think that's where they base themselves.
Yeah, IndyCars.
To have all the experts. Okay, so we've talked about the one more pre-race thing. Obviously, those of us in this podcast right now, we are children of the watching 80s and 90s F1. And we all remember Mansell and drivers like that who are very well known to be Williams drivers. And Albon has achieved something which seems a bit odd to say, but he has now done more races with Williams than Mansell. 96. How do we feel?
Yeah.
And especially you, Andrew, your wife's a big Mansell fan and a Williams fan. How does she feel about all this? Does she now have to start supporting Albon?
I'm not really. I don't even know if she knows. I must admit, I was quite surprised because even if it wasn't Mansell, I was thinking surely there's other drivers that have driven more than 96 races for Williams.
Yeah.
You look at, I guess David Coulthard was more McLaren, but I think a lot of drivers, even Jenson Button, Mark Webber drove for Williams for a while.
Villeneuve?
So a lot of
No,
he sort of took off pretty quickly and went to BAR where the money was with his mate.
But don't forget, Williams have a habit of dumping drivers quick smart because they're like drivers you can change them like a light bulb, as according to Patrick Head. You just, that driver wants more money, get another light bulb in the light socket then.
But I think when you think about it, they've had drivers for 2 or 3 years and then, the drivers have moved on or because it was probably only really in the late 80s, early 90s that they had a really dominant car.
Yeah.
Who did Montoya drive for?
He was Williams.
He was with Williams.
Yeah. I thought he was there for a lot longer than... Yeah. Again, he must have only been there for 2 seasons or
2 or 3 seasons. I thought Alan Jones may have been in the running because he was 77 to 80 and to 81. But there weren't many races.
No, that's right.
Yeah. And I even thought Jacques Lafitte would be up there too because he drove for Williams for a fair bit, but not when they were successful. So people don't remember he was he'd be in the top 10 Williams drivers for sure, maybe top 5.
Yeah. Right.
So,
yeah, I was a bit surprised as well, I think.
Doesn't feel right though, does it? It doesn't feel right.
No. I mean, at least Mansell was a world champion. I think that says more about the team, I guess, than the driver.
And people tend to think Mansell was driving for Williams because they remember the big moments of Mansell and Williams are the 86 tyre blowout in Adelaide and the 92 championship. But I guess people forget that he did leave Williams and go to Ferrari for a couple of years.
Yes.
And he took a year off. Did he take a year off? No,
I think he did.
No, he didn't.
Isn't that when he went to drive in the Indy?
He went to IndyCar in 93.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he didn't come back to Williams. He went to McLaren.
I think.
Yeah. So people might think he was in Williams that whole time, but he wasn't. That's the thing. Yeah.
All right.
So we talk about the race.
Yep. Do you want me to recap the results? Because there's been a bit of a change as well, I think, by the time from the end of the race. So yes, the winner of the race was Lewis Hamilton. Second was George Russell. Third, Lando Norris. Fourth, Max Verstappen. Fifth, Oscar Piastri. Sixth, Isaac Hadjar. Seventh, Pierre Gasly. Eighth, Liam Lawson. Ninth, Lindblad. I don't know his first name. And 10th, Frank Alvid, yes. And 10th, Franco Colapinto. Now, Colapinto was 8th, but had a 10-second penalty. Is that because of the yellow flag infringement or... What was it for, Andrew?
Something to do with yellow flags, but I'm not 100% sure of the
No. So he's now 10th.
Reason.
And just because I like to give myself pain and heartache, Charles Leclerc did not finish. Neither did Kimi Antonelli. Neither did Oliver Bearman.
Yeah, we'll talk about
And
Antonelli
the rest of them don't really matter. The rest of them aren't surprising.
Stroll, how did he go?
Yeah.
Alonso in his home race?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Did not finish.
Did not finish. And he said that this is possibly...
He had a horror race.
Yeah, and he's flagged that it might be his last race in Barcelona.
Yeah, but that's because of the 2-year cycle.
Yeah.
So he's keeping the door open for next year still.
Yes. All right. What are we going to talk about?
I was happy to go straight to qualifying.
Yeah, same.
Big news. Stroll actually out-qualified Alonso. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's the first time ever, isn't it?
Oh, the first time in 43 races or 42? 42? 40.
Right.
Anyway, a lot of races in a row.
Mm.
I feel bad because it's apparently the first time Alonso has qualified last, not due to a error with issue with the car, like straight out pace. And I feel really bad because Rosa, you might recall this at the beginning of the year before the season started, we had a catch up with some friends and we had to write down our big predictions for the year. I predicted Alonso to win 3 races. And this is the low point. This is a low point for me right now.
Yeah. I think we had high hopes at the time that we did those predictions that Adrian Newey was going to come in and design this amazing car for the new regs. Like he'd had the whole year to work on it because he wasn't working at Red Bull for most of the year. And like we all thought, yeah, Adrian Newey designed cars, just going to be so much better than anything else. He's created championship winning cars in this last few eras. And no, that has not been the case.
At all. Are you a bit of an Alonso fan, Andrew?
Look, I appreciate his talent. And he's probably left a few world championships on the table, to be honest. You know, he won those 2 early. He had his opportunities when he was in with Ferrari, but it's also been a bit of a saga for a number of years. You know, the first McLaren Honda experiment was terrible. I think just Alonso and Honda is just a recipe for disaster. It was never going to work. He hasn't been as vocal about Honda this time, though.
They tied him up nice and tight. Yeah, he's got a gag order.
They've got a gag order on his contract.
But interestingly, the rumours are that that Flavio is trying to coax him back to Alpine. So,
what?
You know, who knows?
Why?
That would be.
I mean, would you replace? You'd keep Gasly, but you'd let Colapinto go, right?
Well, that would
Gasly's
be Gasly's
having a good year.
Gasly's having a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And he's like, he's beating Colapinto hands down. So I think that's a Gasly skills and how he's just, he's just having a great year in that car, in that dog of a car.
Look, I'm retracting that now. It's
ever since you said that, they've started finishing like 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
If you want Alonso to win 3 races, maybe you need to start calling the Aston Martin
the dog. Or maybe, Rosie, you want me to start calling Leclerc and Ferrari a dog of a car.
Well, I'm still blaming Andrew for jinxing him last podcast when he asked whether he was the next Lance Stroll.
And he's living up to it, isn't he?
And now
he's absolutely living up to it.
Yeah.
Well,
but having said that, Lance Stroll, I mean, I can't, I didn't watch all of the practice, but pretty much every time I had a look, he was in someone's way on the track. This is a pretty common theme.
Yes.
It's always him.
Yeah. Yes. Everyone gets very angry with him on the track.
He's
all
just
the time.
Driving around, it's like he's in his own world. He's in his own postcode.
Yes. I know, it's just like he's like out for a Sunday drive.
He's zoned out completely. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I was going to say about qualifying is Leclerc.
Yes, we have to mention Leclerc.
Why? Like he crashed in qualifying,
Look, the only thing I have in his defense is that he was trying it. He had new brakes for this weekend.
The Hamilton brakes.
Yes, he changed. I don't know, calipers and pads. Don't ask me what the difference is. One of those things changed. I'm thinking the pads changed, the calipers stayed the same. So, look, if you're getting used to, and he just tried too hard in that qualifying, because that was the start of Q3, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
He
don't think
started
the
Yeah.
brakes. I think his issue was he pressed the accelerator too hard in the wrong spot, which is not generally
But
associated with the brakes.
well, then he tried to
being
brake
changed.
and it didn't work.
Oh,
Either way, is Hamilton getting to him?
Oh, good.
That's what might be happening here.
Nah, I don't reckon. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. What do you reckon, Andrew? Mind games.
oh, it's hard to say. I mean, I think his first sector was right up there, wasn't it? Because the first
It
sector
was.
is right before the corner he came off
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Yep.
But remember he crashed in qualifying in Monaco as well.
Yeah.
Not this race.
Yeah.
Not this
Monaco.
year he didn't.
Yeah, Monaco, the last race, he qualified on his last lap. He crashed on his last lap.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. He did too. Yeah.
He was out of sync, if I recall correctly, or something.
Yes.
But I mean, I guess time will tell.
I don't know if he has had these periods of crashing though, hasn't he? Like, the Baku one, I'm such an idiot. Like there's been a few in his career where they just string, like under what was that? Who was that team principal that he didn't like in the end? Yes, Binotto.
Matteo Binotto, yep.
He crashed quite a bit in that year. When he was, I think, and look, Martin Brundle he sort of said he's a driver that pushes the car to the limit, and when you do that, you crash. Well, I don't see anyone else crashing that much. So I don't know. Is he trying to drive beyond the limit of the car? Well, that sometimes happens.
Well, I know we're going to talk about the race, and unfortunately, we are going to talk about Leclerc crashing again.
Yeah.
But I was going to mention the biggest threat to any driver in Formula One, I would have to say, is I'd say the two biggest threats are one, being a teammate to Max Verstappen, and two, being a teammate to a confident Hamilton. I think when Hamilton's confident, he's a very, very big teammate to be up against. And Hamilton's starting to build. And so I've got a feeling this might be the beginning of Leclerc being the number two.
No, I refute that. I refute that. I don't. A confident Hamilton. What do you mean? Look at what Rosberg did in 2016.
Yeah, but when Hamilton's got his eye on the prize, he's pretty dangerous. He does some pretty spectacular things.
Well, Rosberg was able to win that championship, and what? Hamilton had already won 2, hadn't he? 14 and 15.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I'm calling that just delusional talk.
I think this is something to talk about in 3 or 4 races' time to revisit, because there'll be a bit more of a body of evidence by then.
I think so, and we're going to see. We're potentially going to see the Ferrari rising up to the Mercedes, just like the Red Bull did to the McLarens last year. That's what I think could be happening, and that's what I mean by Leclerc being the number 2. At some point, Ferrari's going to have to say, okay, Hamilton's our best bet. It's too early in the championship to make that call.
No, you wouldn't even tell me that Mercedes should have done that with Antonelli, and he's won 5 races. And now you got Hamilton winning 1, and he should be number 1. What are you talking about?
Well, there's a bit of a gap, 40-something points between him and...
he's won 1 race, Louis.
No, I'm not talking about 1 race. I'm talking about second place win. And what's Leclerc done? No. Crash.
No, in the beginning of the season, he had lots of second places and third places.
Yeah.
Behind the McLarens. And Hamilton was nowhere. He couldn't even drive that car.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with Andrew. It's too early. I don't know that I would be... Look, I still think Charlie would out-qualify him 9 times out of 10 without all of these issues. He just has to get the balance between driving that car at the limit and beyond the limit. I think he's just not in tune with it.
Yeah.
So there's 4 races till the mid-season break. So let's see how it looks after that, I think.
I think we can make the call at that point. Is he the number 2? Okay. The only other thing I was going to say in qualifying was Hadjar did a really good job being up with Max. Now, don't forget in the old days, when it was Perez and who was the last year, the Japanese driver? Sonoda. They were nowhere near Max. So he's pretty hot and cold though, but he qualified right up there. So that was impressive, I thought. It was a surprise.
Do we talk about McLaren in qualifying?
Yeah.
Where was McLaren this weekend? I mean, okay, we had Norris finishing
they were fast
third.
on Friday, second practice.
Yeah, okay. We've talked about how useless that is.
Norris qualified all right. He was pretty close. Piastri was a fair bit off the pace, though.
Yes.
All weekend, really. I think Norris is starting to come to grips with the car a bit more.
And Piastri's like fading. Like he was really, even in the race, and we're going to get to the race, but the race, he's fading, and the qualifying, he's sort of, Norris has been very unlucky. Yes, he won this race and he was nowhere this year. So,
no, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we get to the race?
To the race.
Yeah. Well, Hadjar had a great start.
Not.
What happened? They never explained what happened to him.
Yeah, they didn't say. They said he had wheel spin in second gear and third gear, and as a nonsense start. We've got to bring that term back, Rosa.
Yes,
he was he was 14th, I think. Where did he qualify? 6th.
Yeah.
So pretty bad start by our friend Hadjar.
Very bad start.
Yeah. Hamilton was on softs. That was interesting. But he didn't get the lead, but, he took a chance. No. But he was signalling to everyone that he's going to do a 3-stopper by starting on softs. That was like an ad campaign there.
Yeah.
But Hadjar was very disappointing.
Yes. Oh.
Any other comments to make there about the start?
Just about the start? I think, Charles started in 10th, and I think he made up a couple of places. He overtook Lawson, I think. Hadjar went backwards, so there was one place. But then he overtook both the Red Bulls, I thought, Lindblad and Lawson to get it. Yeah, sorry, yes, both the Racing Bulls.
He ended up 7th after the first lap, Claire, so that was a good start.
Yeah, that was a good start by him. I actually didn't mind the livery of those Red Bulls. They look really good. Did you think that?
The Racing Bull, you mean?
The Racing Bull, yes, the Racing Bull with the white rims and the.
You know what it made me think of? Alonso, 2005-06.
Oh,
it looked like the 2005 Renault.
The Renault.
Blue and yellow.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I
did think it looked good, but I wish they'd be consistent. I've almost forgotten the design that I liked at the start of the year.
Yeah.
It's like they've changed it that many times.
Every race is a new colour palette.
Yeah.
The start was pretty good, pretty exciting, I guess. Russell fell back a bit, didn't he? Did Russell?
No, not Russell.
No, Antonelli.
Yeah, but the thing is, the top few drivers were staying tight, like even up to lap 21. So obviously Russell was in the lead. He had made a good clean start. Hamilton didn't quite get the lead like he was hoping for with those softs, I'm guessing. But after 21 laps, Hamilton was only 2 seconds behind Russell. And Russell certainly wasn't pulling away, and Antonelli wasn't that far back. But then it was just those three. Norris came back a bit towards the end, but he was a bit distant at the beginning of the race. But I was just surprised to see Hamilton able to play with the Mercedes cars. Just to even be there was a surprise, let alone what we know happens that he wins the race.
So evidently they brought a really big upgrade to Spain. Now, normally we don't associate upgrades with Ferrari to improve performance.
No.
Maybe something's changed in this new era.
Well, we can only hope.
I think the other thing for me was the Ferrari, which you might want to touch on, or you're going to touch on, Luigi, is they actually made the running in terms of strategy.
Yeah.
And that's never happened in the past.
No.
So I think they caught everyone else on the hop. So they knew they were going for 3 stops. And I think even Mercedes admitted that the first stop caught them, it was a bit earlier than they thought. And they obviously had to cover off. But the interesting thing about that was they then didn't cover off the next time.
No.
And I'm wondering whether that's because Russell was pretty vocal about having to cover off the first time. But it sort of put them completely out of sync with their 2-stop strategy.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like a bit of an old school race to what you're saying, Andrew, because it was like, I think it was lap 29. They said, Hamilton and his outlap push, and he pushed like crazy. And that's what set him up for getting the lead. But it was like, obviously got help with the strategy car later. But it was still like, it was a good old school race in that regard. Like the old school, sometimes it's an in-lap that you would take it out on. But in this race, the outlap was a big gap because like these cars were going like 2 seconds a lap slower after like 9 laps. They were 2 seconds a lap slower than the start. So by lap 29, you'd have to think they're like nearly 3 seconds a lap slower at least. But yeah, it was like Mercedes were just caught with their pants down. They didn't expect the threat.
Well, especially from Ferrari, because you don't expect Ferrari's strategy to be the best in the field. I think the other thing interesting was, well, how good is it when the tyres degrade? How much more interesting does it make the racing when all of a sudden there's all these alternative strategies? Because even if there wasn't a virtual safety car in Hamilton, like that sort of ruined the race at the end. Like if there wasn't one and he had to come back again and fight through the field, I think he still would have won the race. But how exciting would the last 10 laps have been?
Yes.
It would have been awesome.
Just because of the alternative tyre strategies.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I think Formula One would be better. I know they've made a rule you have to run 2 different tyres in a dry weather situation. Imagine if they made it 2 stops. It would play to exactly what you're saying, Andrew. It would force different strategies. And
I don't agree with forcing everyone to do 2 stops because then everyone just does the same strategy. I think the fact that people could choose 3 stops or 2 stops made it interesting, and the tyre degradation made it interesting on different cars using different. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But as soon as you start dictating how many stops, everyone just follows through and follows each other and nothing actually changes. But yeah, I agree. The strategy car or the safety car did ruin it a little bit in the end because you sort of wanted, because Hamilton was meant to come in for his third stop, and Russell was still going to make his second stop, and then it was just a fight on the tyres. So it would have been.
Do you think Hamilton would have won without that strategy car?
Yep.
Well, I think so. He'd made up enough ground. Yeah.
Well, I think he would have beaten Russell if. I'm not sure he would have beaten Antonelli. Like Antonelli obviously retired anyway.
Yes.
But I think he was flying. I think the other thing was Mercedes, we've said it a number of times, why don't teams split their strategy? So why don't they have these plans where, surely they knew, well, I don't know how long before the race they know what tyres the other teams are on, but they knew that some teams were going to go 3 stops. They could have always had Russell covering Hamilton and Antonelli being because he was behind, he probably couldn't have, he couldn't have been the person covering off, but he could have stayed out in a 2-stop. Russell could have moved to a 3-stop. They just, it was just a bit too reactive in the end.
But when you think, but the problem with that, I fundamentally agree with you, but the concern is they've got all these strategists doing all these calculations and they know the 2-stopper is, okay, in this case it wasn't, but normally the 2-stopper is 90% of the time the fastest way around. So they have to convince the other driver the alternate strategy, go for it. But they're like, but the strategists are saying it's 20 seconds slower. And you've got to convince that second driver to do it. But they want the fastest strategy. So how do you explain that?
I guess Russell and Antonelli are not worried about Hamilton for the championship, are they? They're trying to fight each other.
Yeah.
Not thinking that Ferrari's going to have a fast car, but maybe things will change after this race.
But I agree that when I'm curious to see if I think in the older days they did do a lot more alternate strategy stuff, but nowadays they just very minimal. It's normally forced upon them by a strategy car or something like that someone takes a chance. But
I think
let's celebrate. You know when that second stop happened? You know when there was a safety car right at the end? I can't remember who went off. I think it was Antonelli that triggered it.
No, Alonso triggered it. Alonso went off.
No, he did. No, he triggered the main one. No, the second one. And remember, Ferrari said to Hamilton, "Stay out." There's like 2 laps to go. Look, let's celebrate. Hamilton stayed out.
He did.
He didn't give up the win.
No.
Yeah, but he was 25 seconds in front. Like he could have.
Yeah,
he could have twice.
But why take the risk? But let's celebrate that they did it. You know.
Yeah.
There wasn't much more to the race other than that event, really, was there? It was other than the bit of dynamic ending. Like it was.
Well, Antonelli.
Okay, let's talk about Antonelli passing Russell. That's not good for Russell's mind.
No. Talk about mind games. Well, I mean, I was still thinking Antonelli should be named number 1 driver. I mean, who is the number 1 driver in that team? I don't know.
There's no one.
I think, if anything, Mercedes should put all of their backing behind Antonelli now.
It's too early.
Oh.
But Antonelli passed him.
And with the points now, because he lost 20-odd points.
Yeah, that's
sort
true.
Of closed things up a bit.
Tightened it up. Yeah, it's tightened it up. But Antonelli, he got black and white flags for track limits. He was just gunning that car around that track, trying to catch up to Russell and put a move on him. He just knows one way, and that's get in front, lead the race. That's it.
But he did such a good job to pass Russell. It was very impressive. And he was so unlucky to have that retirement. But then Russell had the same issue in Canada. So
yeah.
I guess you can call that a bit even, but at least Antonelli got the pass on him and knows that he was ahead of him.
Yeah.
And
I thought the other good pass was the Leclerc one on Piastri. It was early on in the race, but it was a good overtake.
Was that the pass on the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good pass. I'll give him that. Yeah.
It was a good pass.
How do we feel about the we obviously went to the Japanese race a couple of months ago when super clipping was still flavour of the month and there was pass after pass.
Yeah.
It now seems to have settled down into more of the traditional Formula One.
Yeah.
So yes, there was a few passes and they were good passes and they were well set up, but there certainly wasn't the volume that we had earlier in the year. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It seems to have settled, but we're not talking about super clipping, but they're not showing it either. So I don't know what to believe. I feel like I'm being conned in a way.
I kind of felt like those passes in Japan were cheap. You know what I mean? They were cheap, fluffy passes that didn't really mean anything. I think the ones that we're seeing now actually mean that the drivers are having to drive the car to pass, whereas before it was sort of manufactured passing because of the super clipping. So I prefer.
Oh yeah, but it was good fun.
It was good fun. It was Mario Kart.
It was great viewing.
It was.
Remember I said it was dessert? It was too much dessert, remember?
Yeah. I am a little bit conflicted because, yes, it was fun watching the racing, but deep down you knew that it really wasn't real overtaking. Yeah. Whereas now you do believe that it's real overtaking.
The first 2 or 3 races, not necessarily the Mercedes clearing out, but Hamilton and Leclerc were having some ding-dong battles.
Yes, they were.
Lap after lap.
They were.
In China and probably China, I think, was one of them.
Yes, it was.
To your point, Andrew, I think the one thing they've done that's really good, regardless of super clipping or not, or anything else, the cars can follow close. That's a big change from last year. Like Antonelli was able to stay 0.3, 0.4 behind Russell for big periods of time. Now, that was not part of the history because that would chew up your tyres. So for some reason, that's working now. That's what's opening up the door for errors. And do you think Russell's defence on Antonelli was too aggressive or reasonable?
Oh, I thought it was okay.
I thought there was one move where he moved twice. He moved over to the right and then moved back. I thought that was a bit questionable, but it wasn't brought up by anyone else, so it must have been within the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, it was still exciting.
Yeah, it was good to watch. So shall we talk about some of the interesting stats from this race that got rewritten?
Okay.
And we can plug our own podcast, Rosa, because obviously there were two big records that were set that the British commentary was very quick to point out.
Yes.
I can't believe this is the first all-British podium since 1968 Watkins Glen.
Yes. And we know who that was. Surtees. Hill.
Go on. Yeah.
Surtees, Hill, and must be Clark. No, not Clark. No, because he was already not there. Surtees, Hill, and I don't know.
You're missing the person who won the race. Who would have won the race in 1968? Do you want me to give you a clue?
Yeah, go on.
A driver I like.
Oh, Stewart, of course. No wonder I've locked him out.
So if you guys want to... So I was shocked to hear that it's been that long. We've had a lot of British drivers win races in that time, but not a whole podium.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, the reason we brought that up, Louis, was because in 1979 or 78 was the first all-French podium. And that was the first time since 1968 that there was a country that had all three spots on the podium.
Good pickup. Nice.
Yeah.
And I was going to go further back, but I just ran out of time today. But remember, Rosa, in the mid-60s, there was a podium that was all New Zealand nearly. It was New Zealand, Aussie.
Yes.
It was almost a whole New Zealand podium, which is ridiculous to think of.
McLaren, it was Bruce McLaren,
Denny Holm, and probably Jack Brabham.
Probably Jack Brabham, yes.
Yeah, and Eamon could have been there.
Yes,
I was thinking Eamon might be in there.
Yes.
But the thing, I was just going to do a little plug here. So we cover that 1968 race in episode 74. It's called Recap 1968 4 of 4. So if you want to listen to the last time there were 3 British drivers on the podium, we covered that race.
Yeah.
That's our job, right? To promote the podcast?
Yeah.
And there's another record. The oldest driver to win a race since Jack Brabham in 1970 South Africa.
Right.
So
that's Hamilton.
That's episode 85. And if you want to listen to that race, it's Recap 1970 1 of 6. To listen to Jack Brabham's the last time an old dude won a race. Since then to Hamilton at this race. But do you know who had the record before Hamilton took it? Since Jack Brabham, I mean. The oldest since Jack Brabham.
Oh. Alan Jones? No.
Do you want to have a go, Andrew? Do you want to have a guess who set the record?
Oh.
I'll give you the year if it'll help.
Oh, yeah, give me the year.
Okay. Andrew gets first dibs out. 1994.
Oh.
A driver won a race.
Olivier Panis?
Mansell won the 1994 Australian Grand Prix. That would have been Adelaide. I think that was the last Adelaide. No, I think it was Damon Hill won the last Adelaide race because he won 2 in a row, 2 Australian races in a row. But yeah, it was Mansell. And Hamilton has now pipped that record.
There you go. Mansell had 2 records taken away from him this weekend.
What was the other record? Oh, the 96 races, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There you go. Now,
he won't be happy. He might have actually spilled his cup of tea.
Well, he did do a ceremony with Albon and handed his helmet to him. I think Albon wore the replica Mansell design helmet.
Yeah.
Now, in another podcast, did you hear about how Hulkenberg retired in this race?
Yeah, I did, and I saw the video of it.
Oh, did you see what did you think of it? Do you want to explain to us, Andrew, how it happened? Because it's remarkable.
Well, I think I got it right, but he was following Lawson, I think. Lawson went a bit wide, kicked up some gravel, and one of the pieces of gravel has hit the kill switch on the ERS. And I think it was just coming out of the second to last corner, and he's kicked it up. And then the engine just died completely, and Hulkenberg's just trundled into the pits straight away.
Yep.
He was in the points.
He was. Yes.
And well, how unlucky is that? I mean,
would that have been first points for Audi?
Yeah. No, for him. No, because Bortoleto got points in the debut. I think Bortoleto got points in Australia.
Right.
But they don't have many points, but Hulkenberg had none. But what are the odds of that?
That's freaky.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be some sort of cover. I guess they need it to be reasonably accessible, don't they, for the marshals?
Yes, safety. Yeah.
You'd have to say that's going to be, it's almost like, would you redesign that switch now in light of this? Or would you go, that's a 1 in 10 million event. We can leave it now.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you have in the old days, I don't think it happens these days, but, back in the old days, I think there was a race in the 80s where Mansell, might have been early 90s, Mansell was leading the Canadian Grand Prix and he retired on the last lap. And it was, someone said it was a 20 cent part or something that failed.
Yeah.
Oh,
something like that.
Yeah.
You don't hear about that much these days, but in the past it was always, it's just that 20 cent part.
And there's a
rate going, why don't you spend 40 cents on
Yeah.
it?
And there was a race with Webber retired, and I'm really bad. I haven't done the research on this, but I remember it was a race where he was driving over a tram line, and there was an electrical surge that went through the tram line, went up his car, and essentially disabled his car. And the odds of him driving over the car and being over that tram line, because it's a street track, at the very moment that surge happened, was a bit like this gravel story. But I can't even remember the year now, but I remember it being one of the most unusual retirements I've ever heard about until this Hulkenberg one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Poor Hulkenberg. Part of his season. But that's it for the race, really. There wasn't much else to talk about other than pretty remarkable win by Hamilton.
Yep.
Is this the start of Hamilton? Do we think he's got a real chance to take on Mercedes?
It's funny, in the last podcast we were talking about who's going to take on Antonelli. It's not going to be Ferrari. It's not going to be, and here we are. Ferrari first win for Hamilton. And now we're wondering whether he can take up the championship fight to Antonelli. I mean, you never know.
Who's not in the equation? Hamilton's teammate. No one's talking about him.
No, he's not
as a viable option.
I
think it's remarkable that he's won again. I remember Luigi and I think we were doing the review last year. Might have been Las Vegas, and he was totally demoralized after that race. And I was certainly questioning whether he'd be able to come back at all from that. And I think Luigi, you said, let's just wait and see with the new regs. And certainly this car suits him a lot better. And I had a look back today. I reckon he only won 2 races in the ground effect era in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think one of those was the British Grand Prix where there was a lot of retirements and it was wet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he's certainly come back with a vengeance.
I'm predicting that Hamilton will be a contender, not because I'm jumping on a bandwagon because he's won a race, but because he's done a second, and first. And my thoughts are that the only reason I think he's even got a chance is I think Antonelli and Russell are going to take points off each other. And that's why I think Hamilton has a chance. Not because I think he's got the pace. I don't think he's got the pace. I think Mercedes have got it. If Mercedes draw the line and say Antonelli's our number one, Hamilton has no chance. but I don't think Mercedes are going to make that call. Like McLaren in 25.
I'm not willing to write off Leclerc just yet. He's competitive. He's a good qualifier. I think he's just got to get a handle on this car. I think, he's humble enough to understand when he's made a mistake, and I think he'll correct. And he was doing so well at the beginning of this season. He had lots of seconds and thirds.
You know what I think is going to hurt Leclerc? Hamilton now has a good excuse to say, I didn't like was it Brembo? That's the brand that Ferrari's had forever. You didn't like the Brembo brakes. He got them changed to this other brand. Now he's got this track record of, look at the result. Now I want you to change this. I want you to change this. I want you to change this.
He's doing
everything. Yeah, everything. He's doing a Schumacher. He's trying to make it his team now.
He's doing a Schumacher. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, he's doing a Schumacher.
And Schumacher needs a Barrichello.
Can I put another observation, and that is that generally, and I think with Hamilton as well, it's the qualifying that goes first, right? It's just that one lap pace.
Yep.
But maybe with these new cars and the ability to pass a bit easier and whatever, that's not going to be as much of an issue for him, because he's always still been able to race really well. So, even if he does lose that little bit of pace, but even, he qualified second, he could have had the pole last weekend.
Yes.
I think he'll be able to race his way through the field if he's got a good car.
You're talking about Hamilton or Leclerc?
Yeah, Hamilton.
Okay.
Hamilton.
Oh, I've written off Leclerc. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you can say the same with Leclerc. I think the fact that he started 10th and he crashed, like as soon as you have a bad, like Piastri in that race, where he had such a bad qualifying, he started the race in the middle of the pack, and then everything went wrong for that race. I can't remember which one it was now. But
he's still. I think the commentators made point sometime during the race that Leclerc was 35 seconds behind Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he has to. He didn't seem to have the pace though, did he?
No.
I know he was on a different strategy, but
yeah, he was. Which is interesting again, to your point, Andrew, that Ferrari had split strategies for both their drivers. They never do that. They always put them on the same, not very good strategy. And this time they had split strategies, which, well, maybe they're getting some strategy advice in that garage.
Well, you know what that strategy advice is? That's called Lewis Hamilton. Because I'll make a bet he went for the 3-stopper because he sort of thought, what have I got to lose? And the 3-stopper was the inferior strategy. He made it work.
And you do
and whether
that
or not it was
second.
by design or by the fact that he qualified second.
Yeah.
And he thought, let's get on the soft side and try and get to the lead.
I was just about to say, when you're second on the grid, you do take those chances. If he'd gotten pole, he would never have done it.
I agree.
The other thing I would say is how good does he look in that Ferrari with the yellow helmet?
Is this what Max Verstappen said? Max Verstappen said he looks like a fried egg.
Really, really cool.
He looks like a fried egg.
Cool.
No, he doesn't.
Like stands out. Yeah, I loved it.
The yellow helmet is like the egg yolk, because you know how they got the white bit?
Yeah.
I thought that was funny from Max. Max is very funny.
He's funny. He makes good observations, but are you loving it because of Senna? Is that why, Andrew?
Oh, no, I just thought it looked cool. I just thought it was a really good...
He does stand out.
For TV, for just the visual, it was really striking.
Yeah, it was nice to not be confused as to which driver was which. You could tell it was Hamilton. That made it easy. Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on from this race. What's the next one, Louis?
Austria. Is it Austria? Yes.
Yeah,
2 weeks'
time.
Yep.
2 weeks. All right. Well,
do we have a quick see? Who do we think's going to win?
Grand Prix. So Hamilton's going to be pumped for the British Grand Prix in a couple of weeks versus Russell versus Norris.
He won. That's right.
The season's shaping up. The season's shaping up to be very exciting, I have to admit.
Is this the Osterring? Is that the Austrian ring?
The Red Bull ring. Yeah.
The Red Bull ring. It's very fast, isn't it? Very, very fast track.
Very short.
Yeah. Short, fast.
Andrew,
Lots of
you've
fast corners.
probably done this race a million times on your computer games. What's your view on it?
Is it a fast cornering track,
No,
Andrew?
no. I mean, they've changed the track a lot because I was watching the highlights of the 82 Austrian Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Last night, and that was at the old Österreichring, which was, I think they were averaging 140 miles an hour, which is somewhere around 230 kilometers an hour for the lap. And it was very fast. And they've obviously slowed it down a bit, but it's still
it's a very fast track.
It's still a traditional flowing sort of European track.
Very fast corners, very fast. So,
And Red Bull, I don't think Mercedes have been that strong there in the last few years. Certainly Red Bull and McLaren. McLaren have been pretty strong. So
but they've faded in the last few races, haven't they? Especially Piastri. So I think this is going to be a Mercedes race. That's my pick.
Well, if Hamilton wins it, then it's championship on, isn't it? He wins here.
It would be.
I'm going for Leclerc to find his form.
I agree. Like, I don't think you can keep the man down. I think he will find his form. I think he will have I think he'll reset.
We'll see.
Okay.
All
right. That's a good one. That's a wrap, I think, guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you next
Rosa.
time.
Bye.
Bye.